Welcome to PiSeas Tarot, and I am your host, Mimi Lightseer. Your business is my business. Today, we will dive into your business with a timeless relationship reading, which means it could be platonic, professional, or romantic. In this session, we will explore the overall energy of your reading, obtain cosmic insights to identify the topics, spill the tea on the energies involved, uncover the positives and the negatives while revealing the lessons that you need to learn, and suggest actions for healings and the best possible outcomes. Remember, this is a general reading, and you have found it when this message is needed. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. Remember, I am LGBTQ plus friendly, using pronouns for storytelling purposes. Lastly, please like, rate, subscribe, and comment. Let me know how this message is connecting with you. And without further ado, let's get into your business.
Good morning, beautiful souls. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to PiSeas Tarot, everybody. I am Mimi Lightseer, and over here at PiSeas Tarot, your business is my business, honey. And let me tell you, today, Spirit has pulled up a chair because we are about to dive all the way into somebody's business. And oh, child, the tea is steeping and Spirit is ready to serve, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to all of my guppies swimming early in the light. Good evening to my night owls and the graveyard shift crew. A big old love, heartfelt, warm love to my international cousins joining us from all over the world, y'all. If you are new to PiSeas Tarot and you're new to my pod, go ahead and drop a star in the chat so that we can show you some love. But if you've been here before, welcome home, cousin. You know what to do. Drop a fish emoji in the chat and slide right into the soul circle, y'all. Let's give our newbies a warm welcome and celebrate the return of our spiritual family at the beach, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today's agenda. Okay, this is how we're flowing today. So get comfortable. First, we're going to do an energy cleanse, which is a gentle moment to center ourselves with breath work and sound healing. Then we'll jump over into some divine insights, which is spirits, downloads, dreams, and maybe an earworm or two. And when I tell you, like, I got an earful from Spirit this morning, but not only that, I do have an earworm for y'all this morning, okay? Then we're going to get right into this overall energy reading. Let's fill out what's bubbling beneath the surface. Then I'll pull out the tarot cards to validate what Spirit has been whispering to me this morning for you, and then I will close this out with some final guidance from your girl Mimi, which would be me, before we swim out of here. All right, now listen, if you ready to get into this, I want you to go ahead and find those scrub brushes, toothbrushes, whatever kind of brush you can find, and put that emoji down in the chat, because it is time for us to get into this reading. I don't want to keep holding. I don't want to delay no more. If y'all ready to get into it, go. Y'all know what to do. Go ahead and start dropping those scrub brushes, toothbrushes, whatever it is, so that we can get into it. Here we go. Before we move forward, let's take a minute to get grounded and aligned, okay? We're going to simply do this by taking in a deep breath, holding it, and exhale very slowly. All right, so here we go. Again, we're going to inhale clarity and peace, and exhale any tension and distractions. One more time, let's breathe in alignment and release anything that we don't need to carry in this moment. Beautiful. How do you feel? Listen, let's clear the energy with any remaining stagnant energy and open up space for Spirit to cleanse, come in, and we're going to do this with our girl Boo Boo here. Divine Spirit, we invite you into this space. Wrap us with your protection and your guidance. Surround us with your light and your love. Help us to allow this reading to be clear, accurate, and delivered in the highest good for all of those who are involved. May this reading bring insight, clarity, and truth. Thank you. Amen. And I say, all right, y'all. Let's shift gears and prepare for a little fun, a lot of truth, and some deep insights. Just a quick reminder for y'all that's never been here before. This is a safe space. It's sacred. And your honesty, your openness, your laughter are all welcome here. We have all been a fool in love before, baby. So don't worry about nobody judging you, because that's not what this is for, okay? If this reading calls you out just a little bit, it's because you're meant to hear it. Now, if you are ready for spirit to start cooking, drop that emoji down in the chat, the cooking emoji, the scrambled egg emoji, whatever cooking emoji you can find. Just go ahead and drop it down in the chat. And let's get ready to get into this reading, y'all, okay? Because, ooh, I got an earful this morning, all right? So if y'all ready, put your favorite cooking emoji down in the chat, all right? Here we go. Now, each day before we gather, I always take a minute to tap in, to sit quietly with spirit, listen, and reflect upon the energies that are moving through the collectives, okay? And sometimes it's a download, sometimes it's a quick vision, and sometimes it's just like a earworm stuck in my head that refuses to go away. That, to me, is spirit trying to get our attention, okay? And so what I'm receiving for today, it's a little groundbreaking. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know it's going to challenge the way that we think, and it's a little bit positive that it is challenging how we are thinking. Okay? This morning when I opened up my eyes, Spirit was talking to me about expectations. And Spirit was talking to me about how there is a fine line. There is a delicacy between having expectations and disappointment. Being optimistic, being overly optimistic, and having expectations. And what happens when there are missed expectations or unspoken expectations? And so immediately, because I understood how complex and how real this is for most of us, I sat with it for a minute, right? Because raise your hand in the chat if you were told to never expect anything so that you're never disappointed. Just raise your hand in the chat if you were told to never expect anything so that you are no longer disappointed when it doesn't happen. I want you just to be honest with yourself right now and raise your hand in the chat. Because I do remember a time where I was taught not to expect anything, because in that way you don't get your hopes up, right? But if you don't have any expectations, how do you build a vision? How do you build a desire, right? You have to have expectations to some degree, one way or another. And Spirit was saying sometimes you just have to go with the flow. And what does that look like? You know, we talk about it all the time about how we really don't have control over anything. And, you know, the only thing that we have control over is this second, this moment that we're in right now. And I was struggling with it because it's like, okay, where does hope fall into this? Where does your faith fall into this? Like, if you can't have expectations, what are you believing in? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, do you understand how groundbreaking this is? Like, raise your hand in the chat. Just put your hand up in the chat. Put the hand up in the chat if you understand what I'm saying to you this morning. Like, I was like, Spirit, what are you saying? Because everything that we're taught on the spiritual side and on the physical side consists of some type of expectation, which consists of a hope, a belief, and having some basis of faith that some need of ours will be met, some dream of ours will be met, some desire of ours will be met. So when you're saying be careful about what it is that you're expecting from people, it's like, what does that mean? What does that mean? And when you think about it, some of us have too high of expectations for others and not high enough expectations for others. There is a thing called unmet expectations. And sometimes when that occurs, it can be very disappointing when you find yourself being in a space where you thought something was going to happen and something didn't happen, right? And so as I'm sitting here noodling on this nuance notion about expectations and what's the fine line between that and being overly optimistic or pessimistic, right? Because there's duality in everything. So if I'm not being overly optimistic and having expectations that become unmet, the answer or the solve, at least as I was told, is that if you are the opposite, which is overly pessimistic, then you will be surprised because you don't have expectations. Whereas when you're overly optimistic, you're always left disappointed because you have unmet expectations. You see what Spirit did there? Okay. So the question is, where are you falling on the spectrum? And where is that fine line? Because at the end of the day, either you have, oh, this is good, Spirit. Either you have a significant, ample amount of faith and belief, and you're trusting that it's going to work out, or you're the opposite, where you have no faith, you are living in disbelief, okay? Because there is a difference between unbelief and disbelief, all right? You are living in complete disbelief, and now you're going around being shocked when someone exceeds your expectations. So there is an issue with the equilibrium here. Okay. And as I'm thinking about this, because I'm like, whoa, Spirit, this is coming in hot. Like I just opened up my eyes. I ain't even brushed my teeth yet. As I'm going to the bathroom to go brush my teeth, I start to hear this song pop into my head. And this is from 2005. And this is Alicia Keys' Unbreakable off her Unplugged album. Now, some of y'all may not remember when, we used to do unplugged albums, when people do music live and you record it and you go buy the album and it's better than the real album because they did it live. And okay, all of that. And so what I'm hearing is, because he ain't no different from you and she ain't no different from me. So we got to live out our dreams like the people on TV. We got to stay tuned because there's more to see. Through the technical difficulties, we might have to take a break, but y'all know we'll be back next week. I'm singing This Love Is Unbreakable. Y'all see that? Where are you on the spectrum of expectations today? I want you to really think about that and write that down in the chat. Are you on the side of optimism or are you on the side of pessimism? Be honest. Write it down in the chat. All right. Now, okay. Ooh, wee. Whether it's a lyric, a phase, a feeling, a spiritual prompt, whatever it is that you got from that, I know that if we landed here today, that it is here for a reason. And somebody may have needed this reminder and give them something just to noodle on. And for someone else, this is confirmation, okay? And maybe that someone is you. So if you're interested in hearing more about what this has to do with love and relationships and things like that, go ahead and put the tea kettles in the chat. Go ahead and put the tea kettles in the chat because I'm curious too. How did we get here? Like literally, how did we get here? How are we sitting here talking about expectations in our belief system and then getting to the end of, oh, well, this is unbreakable. It's okay to take a break. We'll be back. We can have the life that we dreamed of. And it's always in progress. Like, that's the tripped out part. Ooh, child. Let me go ahead and get into this. What them tea kettles at, y'all? Because I could be here going on and on for this about this idea for the next 2 hours, and I'm not doing it. All right? So here we go. All right, now let's pour this tea, shall we? Spirit got something to say, okay? I promise you, got something to say. And when we're talking about energy, it's important to remember that the universe speaks to us in many different languages. Sometimes it's through emotions, patterns, dreams, peoples, numbers, colors, synchronicities, all of those things, right? You just got to be still and long enough to listen to it, okay? And so today, the overall energy is... Ooh, Spirit just said it ain't that confusing. Wow. Who's confused? If you've been dealing with confusion or feeling like you're confused, vacillating, going back and forth about whether or not you understand, it's not that complicated. And it could just be that there's a misunderstanding in what your vision is, what your expectations are, and what somebody else is willing to give or what they are receiving from you. Wow. Spirit, come through this morning. Wow. Okay. All right. We making sense of it this morning. All right, y'all. So what is the overall energy? Okay. Throwing out cards, Spirit. Bearing fruit. Bearing fruit, y'all. Okay, bearing fruit. Whew. What I love about this particular card is two things. Number one, the tree represents growth, stability, longevity. Okay. We also have like some type of spiritual creature that is here down on this card. And I can't never make sense if it's an owl, which represents wisdom, if it's an angel, like I can't make sense of what it is. Let me hold this up so you can see it. Okay. But then when we also think about trees, we think about protection. Okay. Thank you, SJ, for my gifts. Now, here's the thing. I also saw the stars here, which represents what we've been talking about, which is faith. Okay. We've been talking about, where does your faith lie? Do you have a lot of faith in this connection, or do you have little faith in this connection? Do you have expectations for this person, or are you just going with the flow? And what will be, will be. What happens, happens, right? It's polarizing. When you really put it on that linear path, it is exceptionally polarizing of what this means. Either you're being overly optimistic or you're being pessimistic. Where does your expectations fall today? And as I'm thinking about this and seeing this, there is a butterfly here at the top, which represents change and transformation. Okay. But as the song said, stay tuned because there's more to see. Okay. So when you talk about this tree, we're talking about stability, unbreakable. Like it has got to be extreme conditions for the most part for a tree to fall over. You know, trees are usually pretty stable until there's circumstances that causes the tree to fall. But trees that have been there for years just don't up and fall. Okay. And you know how to measure the age of a tree? By the number of rings that are within it. which is a whole different thing. That's horticulture. I ain't going there. Okay. But my point is, trees go through things. They grow through things. They grow through, oh, this is good, Spirit. Trees grow through different seasons and cycles. Just because the leaves fall off and it look dead doesn't mean it's dead. Which is why Spirit is talking about this love being unbreakable. Oh my gosh. Who are we talking about this morning? Oh, Spirit, who are we talking about this morning? All right, here we go. What is the truth that we need to hear for our journey this morning? What is the truth that we need to hear for our journey? Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Okay? Now, what's interesting about both of these cards, there's a lot of purple here. Okay? And when we think about the color purple, we're not talking about the book. We're talking about our third eye, our power, our psychic abilities. We're talking about spirituality. We're talking about our clarity. Okay? And that's what we're talking about here right now. When we're talking about expectations, being clear, being firm on what it is that you want from a person, knowing what you want or not knowing what you want, it's still on that polarizing scale of what your expectations are. Are you being optimistic, hopeful, faithful, believing that something will come from this situation? Or are you being pessimistic, unclear, ambiguous, lack the desire, the willpower, the know-how, and you have no faith? You have no confidence. This is about confidence. Okay? When you have confidence, you're like, yes, I want this from you. I feel good about you. Or I don't know about you. I have no confidence in you. You see how that works? It's all about aligning your expectations. But when it comes to this particular situation, as said in the song, in the earworm for today, because he ain't no different from you and she ain't no different from me. So we got to live our dreams like the people on TV. We got to stay tuned because there's more to see. Through the technical difficulties, we might have to take a break, but y'all know we'll be back next week. I'm singing This Love Is Unbreakable. Okay? If your mind is blown by this morning, go ahead and put the mind-blowing emoji in the chat, because my mind is blown. That's why I'm trying to make sense of it as I'm speaking, and things keep coming to me, and I'm just like, ooh, this is a lot. This is hot steeping tea this morning. Okay, Spirit. Now, Blair Girl said, my mind is blown. I know my mind is blown too. What? Siri, stop. Wow. Did y'all just hear that? Why did Tyra B's I'm Still in Love just start playing? Out of nowhere. I haven't listened to that song in forever. Y'all. Spirit is coming through today. Okay, send help. That's what Tiffany said. Send help. I'm trying to tell you, he talking this morning. I don't know who he talking to currently or in the future, but I am telling you, he coming through. All right, guides of the hidden realms, what messages do you have for us today? The dream of co-creation. This is about manifestation, divine partnership, and frequency alignment. Y'all, somebody, what? The dream of co-creation. Are y'all listening this morning? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Or am I just rambling? Because when you have these conversations with people about expectations and what they're looking for or what their desires are. Isn't that a sense of co-creation? We just talked about living out your dreams like the people that you see on TV, because we ain't no different from them. If we really want it, we can have it. Oh, Spirit is coming through. Okay. What messages do you have for us, Divine Spirit? Okay, that one went flying on the floor. Honoring. I am kind and loving. Change me, divine beloved, into one who honors my emotions. Let me feel my feelings without judgment and then release them. Show me how to be kind and loving to the child inside who needs care. Okay? And here's the thing. We've been talking about what side of the spectrum are you on? Are you on the side of overly optimistic, and are you on the side of overly pessimistic? And we all know that there are times in our lives and in our relationships where you just don't know. You just be like, I don't know about that. I don't know about you. I quit. You know, like she just said in the earworm. We got to stay tuned because it's more to see. We just might have to take a break because we having technical difficulties, but we'll be right back. And sometimes you have to get to those points in your relationship where you have to take a break. You have to take a step back. You have to recalibrate, refocus, get your confidence back, not only in yourself, but in the other person. Because when you're going through things with people, that can corrode or build your confidence. What's some sign that this message may be for us today? Dice. This is about you taking chances, putting it all out there, not being distracted, not looking backwards, but looking forward. Because you know, when you put things in your rearview mirror, you get so used to them being there, you don't even see it no more. You don't even pay attention to it. Okay? Spirit, what's our soul whisper for today? Ooh-wee. I feel like this is a hot message for somebody. I don't know who it's for, but if you feel like Spirit is talking to you this morning, I want you to go ahead and drop some fire in the chat. All right. What is the soul whisper for today? Abundance. Okay, we got the fish. Abundance. All right. This is about you knowing what to do. This is about you being intuitive, in tune with your emotions. Okay. Not being afraid to try something different, being creative. Going back to the dream of co-creation. Okay. You are definitely being called to move in a direction or to do something different. Take that unique blank canvas and just throw some stuff out there and see what sticks. You never know what will become of your art. And everything could be viewed as art, you know? Oh, mercy. Oh. Now, as we start to dig deeper into this energy and begin to tune it into the people that are potentially involved, yes, we're talking about them too. I want you to stay focused on what resonates with you, okay? And let the rest of it float away. If it doesn't feel like it's yours, don't force it, okay? Don't force it, all right? Now, what's our first insight? Not manifest being at the bottom of the deck. Patience, okay? Just a few more months. Good things come to those that wait, okay? So you may be in a difficult transitional space in your relationship with this person right now. You may be taking a break. You may have had a technical difficulty. Things may have blown up. But as we know from the first card that we pulled, okay, with this thick tree. And I talked about things aging, things developing, things being resilient through different seasons in life. Okay. As I spoke about that, be patient. You will be bearing fruit. It said good things come to those that wait, bearing fruit. Okay. Be patient. If you heard me talk about that earlier, go ahead and drop your ear in the chat. Thank you for my gifts, Miss Tiffany. Believe, y'all. Spirit ain't coming to play with y'all this morning, okay? Believe. You are being asked to fully believe in yourself and in your dreams. It is time for that idea that has lived inside your heart to be brought into the world so that others can benefit from it. Believe that you can bring it to life and you will do exactly that. Child, whose business are we in today? Didn't we just spend 20 minutes talking about what your beliefs are? Either you're optimistic and positive about it, or you're being pessimistic and negative about it. Either you have confidence or you don't. It's one end or the other, okay? But you gotta believe. You gotta believe. If you want others to benefit from the fruit, and if you want to benefit from their fruit, y'all got to believe. Y'all got to come together and co-create. What is the vision? What is the dream? What is the goal? What is the path forward for this? Okay? Happiness. Happiness comes from a fulfilled heart and harmonious relationships. Okay? Good morning, Jabba. All right? This is about your happiness. Being in harmonious relationships that are flowing. All right, what is the news? What is the news? Stay tuned because it's more to see through the technical difficulties. We just might be taking a break, but y'all know we'll be back next week. That's too funny. Spilling the beans, revealing secrets, cats out of the bags, untrustworthy. Okay. So part of the reason why your confidence in this connection may have been corroded is simply because you don't trust it. Okay. You don't trust it. They may have said or done something that has caused you to feel a little bit, untrusting or lacking the confidence that you need for this situation to proceed to move forward. What is the tea? Or maybe they're not telling you everything about their plans, their goals, and their aspirations. So you have no expectations because there hasn't been a conversation. Oh my gosh. Who is Spirit talking to this morning? And I ain't even gonna say why is he coming in like this, because we summoned him to come and talk to us and to tell us what we need to hear. But the point is who is this for? Because this is definitely somebody's business, okay? Because he is very clear. He is being very consistent. And I'm telling you, like, Spirit is telling you, you got to open up your mouth and put out there what it is that you really want. Maybe you just didn't have any expectations because you was afraid of getting your feelings hurt. Maybe you didn't tell this person that you have dreams of being married or being in a long-term stable relationship. Maybe you never told them that you're ethically non-monogamous and you would like to have somebody who's on that same path.
Oh my God.
What's the tea, Spirit? What is the tea? Forcer. Forces things on you. Forces their way. uses force to get what they want. Okay, so maybe part of the problem has been either you are the person who has all the expectations and you feel like you're forcing someone, or you're being forced to acquiesce to what their dreams are, what their vision is. Okay, but it feels very forced. It's not happening organically, and that could be why there has been tension here in this relationship, which thus has brought forth a technical difficulty. Okay, no more rules says, oh my God, shaking my head, face palm. Oh my God. Ooh, child, coming in hot this morning, okay? Whew. Not sparing the rod this morning, okay? When we look into the broken mirror, Netflix and chill, sneaking around, friends with benefits, spending time with somebody else. Okay, so y'all see how this spectrum is working? You got one person over here that's forcing something to happen. You got the other person that's kind of going with the flow. The two ends of the spectrum. Somebody who's over here wanting more. Somebody who's over here wanting less. And there's tension, because the forcer is forcing this person to acquiesce to what they want. And this person over here is not being honest about what they want. They have no confidence in this connection. They don't believe in monogamy. They don't believe in long-term longevity. They just here for right here and right now. They want what they want, and then they like, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. What lies beneath all of this? Whew. They don't have the confidence. They lost their dreams. They lost their desire. They had their heart broke once. Their heart was broken so badly that they said that they were going to never put themselves in that situation again. They were never going to be that vulnerable, that fragile, that weak, that needy. They said they would never do that again. So to supplement that, they like to spend time with a lot of different people. They don't want that closeness. They don't want that proximity. They're going to stress test every situation to validate whether or not it's comfortable, whether or not it's okay for them to come out and to open up their heart and show who they are and mean it. Emotional intelligence. I can't make this up. Emotional intelligence. Understand that some people just need some help. Some people just need some patience. Some people just need some extra time. That's why patience came out. Not secrets accounts. Not no strings. Y'all didn't even see it. No strings popped up, and then secret accounts popped up as well at the bottom of the deck as I was shuffling. Well, that took no time. True emotion. Pregnancy test is fake news, okay? Fake news. Pregnancy, DNA, fake news, okay? So part of the issue that may be here is that one or more persons fear that there is pregnancy here involved. And that's kind of like what caused this tension here in this relationship. Y'all done got too comfy, Netflixing and chilling. And then y'all been over there doing the butt. And now you got a scare going on. Now, everyone, I want you to start dropping your zodiac signs in the chat, and don't forget to consider your placements. I'm about to do my reading for Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. And if you're a cross watcher, you already know you welcome in this space too. All right. So person A, you're being taught to be patient. Okay, everything ain't got to be what you want it to be right here, right now, in this very second, in this very hour. I know it's hard to believe in this world of immediate gratification. It may be a little bit delayed. Okay, you're being asked to believe. Okay, you're being asked to put it out there, to co-create, to get what you want from somebody. Have some emotional intelligence about this situation. All right, and this is about your happiness. Okay, this is about your happiness, all right? Person B in all of this feels like you're forcing them into something they're not ready for. They all about the Netflixing and chilling. They spending time with you, them, and everybody else, okay? They're going to have to come forward and spill the beans. They're going to have to reveal the secret, okay? That they're not trusting of this, that they're not ready for this. And I feel like the tension is here because of this pregnancy test. All right, that's what this is about. Now go ahead and drop those zodiac signs, because it's time for us to figure out whose business are we about to get into this morning. Lord have mercy. All right, Spirit, reveal to us who person A is. Person A. All right, here we go. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Where are my fire signs this morning? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. If you or your person is an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, go ahead and put that fire sign in the chat. Go ahead and put that fire sign in the chat. We got the Knight of Wands in reverse. Passion project, anger, scattered energy, delays, and frustration. Ain't that what we've been talking about already this morning? Person A is either at Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And let's be clear. The energies can be reversed, okay? The energies can be reversed, all right? Who is person B in all of this? Well, that was two cards that fell. All right, I'm just going to pull this one. Tee-hee. Y'all. We got Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces with the Knight of Cups. So both of y'all are talking about action. Okay. And we have, if you or your person is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, I want you to go ahead and put the water sign in the chat. Okay. Creativity, romantic, charming, imagination, beauty, knight in shiny armor, following the heart, Prince Charming, and proposals. Whoo, child. If y'all ready to get into this, I want you to go ahead and put the coffee cups, because this is where the energy meets the message, all right? We're about to get into some confirmation, some clarity, and maybe even a little bit conviction, all right? So if y'all ready to hear Spirit speak, go ahead and put those coffee cups, because, child, it's time for us to get into this. Listen, we listen. We don't judge, but we sure finna zoom in on your business, all right? Y'all ready? Here we go. Now, if you feel like you resonate with person A, I want you to put a fire sign in the chat. If you feel like you resonate with person B, I want you to go ahead and put a water sign in the chat. We want to see what energy do you most align with today. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm shuffling these cards. Y'all see what's at the bottom of the deck? The Nine of Swords. All right. Didn't I tell you that this was a contentious, high stakes, technical, difficult situation. This has got somebody stressed the freak out. Okay. Somebody is super stressed out right now about everything that is going on in this connection. All right. They are super stressed right now. This has brought forth a complexity, and I'm going to tell you who it is that's stressed out. It's this water sign. Okay. It's this water sign. They feel like they're being pressured to be ready for something, to be something that they're not. They're comfortable with going with the flow. They're comfortable with being your knight in shining armor, showing up for you, doing the things that they need to do for you, when they do it for you, how they do it for you. And when they're not with you, they don't want to be involved in no emotionally committed, drawn out, long relationship. Okay. They don't want to feel like they're obligated to having to do anything. Basically, in other words, if they just want to come and lay the pipe and leave, that's what they want. All right. Or if you come in, they come in and let you stir the pot. That's what they want. Okay. That's just what they want. That's their basic needs. That's their happy place. They don't have any expectations because they lack the confidence. Now, what does that mean for this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? What does it mean for this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius? Well, not all of that, Spirit. That way too many. Good grief. All right. Person A. You're coming in feeling very deceived right now. Okay? You're feeling very deceived right now with this Knight of Cups in reverse, which plays on their foundational energy. Okay? I literally just said they're comfortable with showing up, doing what they got to do to get your attention. They love on you. They being very attentive. They're showing up for you. When you with them, it's real good. And then the moment that they leave, you're feeling empty. You're feeling the void. You're feeling the disconnect. And it's like, where is the person I was just kicking it with yesterday? Have you ever experienced this dynamic before, where when you with somebody, everything is all good, you loving them, you smiling, you're happy, you're vibrant, they come and stir the pot, and then when they leave, you feeling that void, that emptiness, and you just like, why did I do this to myself? I knew better. Just go ahead and raise your hand in the chat. We grown folks talking. We cousins at the table. It is 3:45 a.m. Ain't nobody judging you. Let's talk about it, okay? Now, person B, this Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio that's involved in all of this. They're coming in as a 10 of Wands in reverse, y'all. Okay, as the 10 of Wands in reverse. They are trying their best to get out of this. Okay? They are trying their best to get out of this. They're like, I can't, which is why they're coming for to spill the beans, because this is pissing them off. If I'm being totally honest with you, this is aggravating them. They are in a space where they're like, you know what? I don't know what is it that you want from me. They're very, very frustrated right now because they feel like you have these unrealistic expectations. And the reality is they help to create these narratives when they're around you. They're Prince Charming. They're opening up all the doors. They're pulling out all the chairs. They're opening your pop bottles. They're taking out your trash. They're so attentive. They're so responsive to you in your face. But when they leave and gone about their business for the rest of this week, and you over here crashing out in a text message, trying to figure out why they not responding to you, they over here losing their marbles.
What more do you want from me?
Have y'all experienced this before? I want you to write down in the chat like how this dynamic has made you feel in the past when you've had to deal with this in your relationship. All right? Now, let's look to see Tiffany cracking up. Listen, that's what they saying. Like, what more do you want from me? Because as you may recall, when we talked about the insight this morning, the psychic part, I talked about the polarizing end of the spectrum where someone has expectations, they have full confidence, they believe, they're being optimistic, they have faith, they're trusting. And then you got this other person. Okay, so this is person A. In other words, let me translate this for you in case you're confused. This is person A on this end of the spectrum. Person B is on this end of the spectrum. They don't want nothing. They don't have no confidence. They have no beliefs. They're not looking for nothing. They're pessimistic about love. They don't want nothing to do with nothing. It's just all bad.
A few moments later.
But then when they get around you, they're making you feel like you have opportunity and space and you falling in love with this person all the time. So this is very confusing for person A and all of this. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all get together, y'all go to the boom boom room, you do the naked nude Olympics, y'all tear the room upside down, you even take time to watch a movie. Or maybe y'all started watching a movie and the next thing you know, the little pheromones and stuff, the little fairies start talking. Next thing you know, y'all just over here just going ham. Okay? Going ham, tearing the skin off of each other. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Stop acting like y'all don't know. It only been 5 days and you over here just like salivating, wanting this person.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
You know what I'm talking about. Don't be leaving me out here like y'all don't know. Y'all know. Y'all do it all the time. That's why y'all here. Y'all confused just like I will be confused. Just like anybody else will be confused. Y'all know. All right, now what's favorable about this situation? Okay, what is favorable about this situation? What energy is supporting you? Okay. Woo! People. We got the Three of Swords in reverse. Remember how we talked about that clarity, that conversation being had, having to address the elephant in the room. Okay? You may have been, which goes back to what's stressing. This is stress. Okay? This Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio can no longer contend with this image and this false representative of what they put out there. They no longer can contend with the image that they put out there. Now, oh my God. Spirit just said it may not even be you that's pregnant. It could be somebody else that's pregnant that's stressing them out. Regardless, with all things being equal, what is most favorable about this situation is that they're going to be forced to have to come clean about what their intentions are, what their motives are, what their values are, what their expectations are. They are going to have to set the record straight. Okay? And one thing that I always tell y'all, and I didn't mention it this time because I wanted to see what Spirit was going with this. My personal belief, even though it's more to it than what I'm about to simplify it and oversimplify it as being, my personal belief is water and fire signs do not belong together. Okay, I don't believe that. Water is heated up with fire. Fire can be put out by water. Okay, water can be evaporated if it's too hot. Okay, so y'all understand that it's never a equal between the two. You have one element that is cold and wet, which is water. You got the fire, which is hot and dry. It's always some type of absorption. There is no balance. There is no balance. Okay, so what I mean by that is you guys may come together because there is always some weird attraction between these two dynamics. It really is. And it could be the narrative of how opposites attract. It could be. Okay. But the reality is that there is tension here. There is stress here. There is strife here that is forcing there to be a critical and key conversation, which is why person B is at this point of where they're like, you know what? I can't carry this. I got to put this down. This is stressing me out. I am not sleeping at night. This is causing me grief. This is causing me anxiety. And the reality is, if we really truly think about it, they did this to themselves. Not being honest, not being sincere, not having the difficult conversations early on to set realistic expectations. So this is how we got to both ends of the spectrum. Are y'all seeing what Spirit is talking today? Do you see what he's teaching today? Is anybody present?
Down.
All right. The question is, even with the smallest energy shifts, how is this showing you? Or what is this showing you? That's the question. What is this showing you? Go ahead and write it down in the chat. Ain't nobody judging you. Say what you gotta say, child. Say what you gotta say. Now, what is consequential or controversial or problematic about this situation, right? We got the Queen of Wands. Okay? Which goes back to your expectations, which goes back to what you've been hoping for, what you've been believing for, what you have been desiring. Okay? This is you all day, through and through. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you've been sitting over here looking pretty. Okay? Waiting peacefully, being full of the love and the joy, the kindness, bigging up your friendship. You've been sitting here patiently, giving this person all the credit, all the glow, all of this, all of that. Only for this Mickey Ficky to do the most and then not to do enough of later. And it's very, very confusing because you don't know what to believe. You don't know how to believe. 1 minute you all excited about the relationship and what the possibilities are, and you can't wait to see them again. The next minute, you just be like, what?
What the fuck was that?
You understand? It's very confusing. It is very confusing energy. And what makes it nuanced is that not only are you confused, but when you open up your mouth to verbalize that you would like to have something of more substance, more material, more tangible with this person, they're confused. Because they're like, what did I do to make you feel like that's what I wanted with you? So this is very problematic. This is very frustrating. This is very humiliating and demeaning. Okay. It is all of the things. It is all of the things. And this is what's causing the problem, because now they feel like they're forced to live up to something that they're not ready to live up to, that they're not ready to commit to. And this is causing concern because they feel this pressure. And at the end of the day, they feel, because I just caught this is your foundational energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is your foundational energy. This person B in all of this, whether you align with person B or person A, it's irrelevant. They feel like you're the burden that they got to get out of. They got to come clean. They got to speak up. They got to tell you something, because at this point they like, this is too much. Now let me ask you a question. If things continue to move forward the way that they're going, what do you really think is going to happen? Do you feel like you're going to get them to change their mind? Or do you feel like you just over here blowing hot air trying to get them to accommodate because you don't want to start over?
Denied.
What do you really think will happen if you continue down this path? And I want you to write that down in the chat. Now, what is this trying to teach you? Know your value. Know your worth. Know who you are. Know what you bring to the table with this Empress energy. You are divine energy. You're perfect. You're ready. You're deserving. I can't say that. I can't underscore that enough. You are in a space in your life, person A, whether you're masculine or feminine energy, it don't matter. Okay? I'm just telling you the story. I'm just sharing the narrative, right? But the point is, you're in a space in your life, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, where you can say what you want and don't want. You can tell somebody to beat it, scrub, if you want to.
Do not come.
But for some reason or another, okay, you're in this polarizing place within yourself where it's like you keep settling for any and everything instead of being offended when someone's not meeting your expectations.
Excuse you.
When you meet people and you have these initial conversations about what it is that you're wanting, what it is that you're looking for, right? The preliminaries, because everybody has those preliminary conversations. The point is you got to listen. And when I say listen, I'm not meaning passive aggressively listening just to get through the conversation. I mean, you have to actually process and digest what someone is telling you. Active listening. Because when they say, oh, I'm just going with the flow right now, that is a major indicator that they'll go anywhere that the wind blows. So if you know that you want something more of substance, if you know that you want something that is going to render marriage and monogamy and commitment, and that goes off, you should be like, woo, red flag. Let me exit stage left right now, because what are we talking about here?
What?
Okay, especially at today's age, right? Now, here's the thing. If they disclose this to you in the beginning, you got to honor that. You got to honor that. You cannot be sitting up here getting all mad, frustrated, flustered, confounded and confused, busted and disgusted because they told you they were going with the flow. Oh, I'm just looking for a friend. And you wanted something else, and you continue to go down that path. And now you got the audacity to be confused when they told you. Did you listen to the words that were coming out of their mouth? I mean, seriously. Likewise, for those of you who have said, I don't want nothing. I'm just going with the flow. I'm focused on my career. Okay. So for those of you who are on that end of the spectrum, you still see what we are on this linear path of things. You got one person who wants something and the other person who don't want nothing. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. Now, with that being said, when you hear somebody say, I'm looking for something more long-term, something more serious, something that can grow and develop over time, let that be your indicator. Nothing. That you also need to get up and exit stage left. Don't be sitting up here wasting somebody's good time, sucking up all their good love, having them getting emotionally invested in you because y'all building rapport. That's what happens when you're building rapport. Only for you to try to backpedal and walk your way back out of it. Where do you get off with that sense of belonging, that sense of entitlement? understand what the lesson is here? Do you hear what Spirit has been talking to you about? In essence, let me recap. Person A, if you want what you want, say what you want, mean what you want, go for what you want, and don't settle for anything less than what you're receiving. And for person B, if you don't know what you want, don't know what you want to get, you just going with the flow, you over here just playing and seeing where the day goes, then maybe you need to stick to the rivers that you used to. Stop chasing waterfalls. Because at the end of the day, the only person that you're stressing out is yourself. You're trying to contend in a big league and be in a space that it's too big for you. Okay, you're out of your league. Or better yet, you done went down into the baby Foot Locker, bought them brand new soft bottom retro J's, and tried to put your big old feet in it, and then you wondering why your feet are hurting. You wonder why you can't even get your big toe in the shoe. What are we talking about here? You see that? Now, what do you need to do to heal? Y'all keep saying opposites attract, and maybe you can meet in the middle. Where is compromise in all of this? As I talk about compromise, we got the Six of Wands in reverse. If this ain't a card that represents compromise, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. This goes back to you, person A, articulating what you want and having patience if that is what you really want. Fully acknowledge and recognize how you're feeling in this. Two things can be true at one time. You can really enjoy a person and not like who they are at this point in time. You could really have love for a person but need your space from somebody at this time. You can miss somebody and not want to be around them, not even talk to them. You can love somebody and not be in love with them. There are so many spectrums to this, so many tentacles of this. But at the end of the day, if you are lacking patience and emotional intelligence and if are forcing your happiness and your version of reality onto somebody else for the sake of saving face so that you don't feel like you wasted your time and so that you don't have the egg on your face, you're forcing somebody to be something that they're not ready to be. And that is beyond the pale for them. You got to learn how to respect other people's boundaries. And not all boundaries are going to be stated. Not all boundaries are going to be defined. Again, that goes back to having difficult conversations. And that's where we are. All right? That's where we are. A difficult conversation is needing to be had. And really, the onus is not on you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, to have this conversation. This is a conversation that this Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces needs to facilitate because the burden is on them. They are feeling very burdened. They want it out of it. They want to tell you what they're really thinking and what they're really feeling. They want to spill the beans because the pressure of you forcing them into something that they don't want to be in is stressing them out. Okay, it is stressing them out. And at this point, they tired of playing games with it. They sick and tired. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay? So, what do you need to do? How do you enable yourself for best results, best outcomes, best growth? Okay, I'm going to take these cards, Spirit said. We got the Ace of Wands, the Six of Cups in reverse, the Magician in reverse, and the Strength in reverse. Wow. Wow. Whoo-wee. All right. Here's the Ace of Wands upright that just fell out. We also have the Six of Cups in reverse that just fell out. The Magician in reverse that just fell out. As with the Strength card in reverse that just fell out. This goes back to you forcing it. Okay? They've put some space here in this connection. They may have stopped calling you as frequently, may have stopped reaching out to you as much as you used to. Now, like I said, you're texting them, reaching out to them, trying to get that old thing back, trying to lure them to your house to give you something that you can feel because you can't get over it. It was dynamic. It was all that. You still stuck in La La Land right now. But let's be honest. You're trying to use what you got to get what you want because you have no control over them, which speaks back to how they feel like you're forcing something on them. You're trying to lure somebody with your lady parts, thinking that that's going to work and that's going to solve it. That's what's causing the confusion right there. You're thinking with your body parts. You're thinking with your lady parts. They thinking with they pole and you thinking with your honey bits. Okay? Stirring a pot. So what do you need to do? You're going to have to make a decision. You are going to have to make a decision. And you're going to have to put it out there. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. And you have to recognize, going back to this abundance card, that you have more than one option out there. There's more than one fish in the sea. This ain't the only person that you got. Open up your eyes. Look around you. Other people see you all the time and think you are the finest thing since sliced bread. You like a brand new 2025 or 2026 automobile. When they see you, they're gasping over you. They want to be around you. You got somebody that's in your life right now that will suck the perfume scent out of the crease of your neck.
He ain't lying.
They will suck the gristle out of you if you let it. And for some reason or another, you just get a laugh out of it thinking it's the funniest thing. And they are so serious. They are so sincere. But that's the person that you are not giving the light of day to because they say crazy things like, girl, you know, I suck the gristle out of you. They ain't lying. I really had somebody tell me that once before. I was like, ooh. For real. It was very cringy. I was 16 and this person was snaggletooth. So that tells you a lot and all that you need to know right there. But nevertheless, okay, the point is that you have options around you. You may just feel like you're not attracted to these people or that's just not what you want. Or maybe you've dabbled and they didn't give you that emotional or that sexual fulfillment. There's reasons why every time they keep throwing their net out there to see what they can catch with you, every time they go fishing, you respond adversely to their request.
Hell no. What did you say? Hell no. What did she say?
There's a reason for all that. There is a reason for all of that. And part of it is because I feel as though you're not being honest with yourself, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, about what it is that you really want. You keep running around here telling yourself that you want something more, that you want something of substance, that you want something that can be long-term, that you want something that is going to fulfill your dreams and aspirations. You running down there, you got your wedding dress all picked out, you got the venue, you got the colors, you got the bridesmaids, you got it all figured out in that big old head of yours.
I'm ready! I'm ready! I'm ready! I'm ready! I'm ready! I'm ready!
But the other person, they sitting over here looking like, huh? What? What made you get that idea? What made you think that that was something that I was, the type of time that I was on, the things that I wanted from my life? Like, what made you feel so emboldened to think that that's what I wanted? I never told you that. And then when they're responding, not with their words, because that clearly lacks emotional intelligence, and it also clearly lacks emotional maturity for them to say it, but they're showing you with their actions what their intentions and their motives are. You just don't want to believe it.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
If you find yourself in this dynamic, I want you to write down in the chat, how is this really making you feel? What feelings and what emotions do you really need to process? And if you know that this is something that you really need to deal with because you have been holding off with this, I want you just to put a candle in the chat, because that's our way of reclaiming your lights and what you bring to the situation. Ren says this makes them sad. Okay. And I get it. It can be very devastating. It makes you feel used. I mean, like, I've been in a situation like this, I feel, plenty of times, but it goes back to those missed expectations. I'm optimistic. I am being positive that every time I put myself out there, this could be the one. This could be my person. This could be the thing. Y'all know how disappointing that is to get yourself all dressed up and all good to go, all ready to go. You just ready. You just ready. You getting to know the person. They giving you the warm and fuzzies. You run into the phone to make sure it's them calling. You're so disappointed when it's another spam call. You calling them, you getting the voicemail because all of a sudden, you know, they just busy with somebody else. But you don't want to think that. It's you over here feeling like you going through dire straits because it's been a couple days since you seen them and you over here about to pass out.
I need it!
You know, like, y'all know what that feel like? And you also know what it feel like when somebody wants more from you than what you're willing to give. And you sitting over here like, ooh, like what? Y'all ever had somebody blowing kisses to you in a text message and you just like, why are you blowing kisses at me? What did I do for you to be blowing kisses at me? Talking about, ooh, I miss you.
To say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
That man pouring out their heart to you and you don't even know who it is because you ain't even got their name saved in the phone. You just over here like, who is this? And every few months or so, they keep reaching out to you, telling you they want to take you out. They want to do this. They want to do that. And you like, who is this? But you won't say that to them, though. You just keep being flattered by the person, the unknown caller in your phone that keep texting you and pouring out their heart. You think it's cute.
Yeah.
All right. So let's clarify what we got out here. Oh, we got the Page of Swords in reverse. That came flying out. And I'm going to apologize to y'all right now if y'all hear my stomach because it is going ham. Okay. Temperance 02 says, it makes me mad and sad when things don't go good, but then they back off. I'm guessing that's what she's saying. I mean, yeah, that is very true. So with this Page of Swords being here, right? This goes back to the truth coming out. This points back to the pressure, right? This goes back to you feeling deceived about who they are and what they're bringing to the table because they've put on this act. They've put on this act. They come around you acting like they want something, acting like they, you know, just the man on these streets, you know, and you're just like, ooh, King Joffrey Joffer. I mean, seriously, they come into your life. They come around you looking good, smelling good, got you about ready to jump on one foot like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Whatever you like. And then now they coming to you and telling you, I don't think we on the same page.
I want to apologize.
And you just like, huh? And they sitting there scratching their head like, yeah, it's time we have a critical conversation.
I can explain.
They've been showing you this whole time who they are, where they are, how they are, why they are the way that they are. They have been showing you all this time. But the moment that things got real, whether it be you with the fake pregnancy news or if somebody else that's coming with the fake pregnancy news, whomever this person is, because they're not in a monogamous relationship. They have no intentions on being monogamous. They're in a different space. But with this revelation, this is what made them come to the realization that maybe it's time for them to grow up and stop playing games with other people and their thoughts, their feelings, and their emotions.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
They stressed out. They not sleeping at night. They're worried. Yeah. They're no longer going to keep this to themselves. They can't keep it to themselves. They have no joy. They have no peace. They're carrying this burden on their own. And they need to release it. They need to release it. I mean, it's going to be hard for you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, to really sit here and listen to what this person has to say. Because you're going to have to hear the fact when they make the statement. And for those of you who are my guppies and you have been rocking with me for almost the last year, you know I have been saying this. When somebody tells you, I'm not ready for a relationship, you need to remove that period and put a comma there and put the words with you.
I don't like you. I don't like you at all.
You need to hear that they don't like you. Because they'll tell you in one breath, I like you and all, but it ain't no but. If somebody tell you that they're not ready for a relationship, always hear that they ain't ready for you. And take that as your cue that this is not the knight in shiny armor that you think it is. This ain't the princess that you thought it was. This ain't your queen. Take those things as an indicator to get on out of Dodge.
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest!
But for some reason or another, we hear it and then we don't process it as that. And then you wonder why you're stuck in a space of confusion with unmet expectations. Because you have one person who wants something and you got the other person who don't want nothing.
Oh, hell no.
So save yourself. Save yourself. When somebody starts talking that mess to you the first couple of times you getting to know them, you need to be hearing like, this is crazy. You're today's years old and this is what you feel. And they are entitled to feel that way. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Everybody has a right to feel the way that they feel, and everybody has a right to change their mind. But you need to stop thinking that you got that magical power where you can help somebody change their mind. If somebody told you, I'm not ready for a relationship, girl, take that as your sign. Don't do it, Miss Seeley. Do not do it. Stop thinking that you got magical hoo-ha that can call all the angels from heaven down here to earth to save the planet.
Period.
You don't have it like that, sis. You don't. Or sir, however you fall on the spectrum. You know, I'm just using pronouns to tell a story. Take what resonates. All right. Now we got the Knight of Wands in reverse. All right. This is your energy here. Your foundational energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You're frustrated because this is not being progressive the way that you thought that it would be progressive. You feel like now you done wasted a whole lot of time. But whose time really was wasted here? Did you waste your time? Or did they waste your time? If they told you in the beginning that they weren't looking for a relationship, I don't care how much they dress up the situation. I don't care how much you put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. Y'all know my big old cane Corso, my big old dog that seems to scare the demons out of the most vicious people. The biggest savages you've seen in your life. We come walking down the street. Your dog don't bite, do they? It's still a dog. It's still a cane Corso. Dude asked me, what would happen? What would happen if I slap her on the nose? She will bite you. I don't care how many butterfly costumes I put on her, how many tiaras I put on her, how many glitter girly things I put on her. I don't care how many ways I polish her toenails. She's still a cane Corso and she will still bite you. Period. If she feels threatened or if she think I feel threatened, Mama Shark is coming for you. This ain't no little chihuahua that's all bark and no bite. This is a cane Corso, man. And she is ready. So understand what I'm talking about here. No matter how many ways you try to dress it up and change the facts of the matter, it still is what it is.
All a bunch of bullshit.
And if you have been knowing that this person is not showing you that they want progression, they're not showing you that they want stability, they're not showing you that they want anything more, why are you continuously waiting for it and subjecting yourself to the disappointment? You did that to yourself. You know what you need to do. This is a lesson that you needed to learn about aligning yourself with the right place at the right time with the right people who want the right things. And let's be clear, rightness changes. Rightness varies from person to person. What feels right to me may not feel right to you. And it's okay if you got to sit up here and be like, you know what? This feels good to me today. Or this felt good to me yesterday. But today, not so much. And I know it makes you feel like a clown. Because then you feel overly invested. You feel overly committed to something that doesn't make you feel good. But with this high priestess here in reverse, this tells me that you have been ignoring your intuition the whole time when it comes to this person. Your spirit guides have been telling you. Your spirit has been talking to you. Everyone has been telling you. This ain't what you think it is. But you, every time you get around this person, you just be like, oh my God.
Little butterfly in my stomach and vagina.
So who's doing it to you? Who's really causing you to feel this way? Is it really them? Or is it really you? Who is the problem in all of this? You understand? Now, if y'all ready to get to these final outcomes, I want you to put those paper, pen, and notebook emojis in the chat. Because, baby, it is time for us to get out of this business. You hear me? Here we go. All right, y'all. So as we respectfully step out of this business and we land at a potential outcome, I want to remind you that I am saying potential because free will is always at play. Spirit might show us the path, but it is still up to us to walk it. Okay. So you could be like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. That's my man, my man, my man, my man, my man. And I'm not finna move out the way so somebody else can come and take my man, my man, my man, my man, my man. And that's up to you. And for some of you, you might be like, girl, Mimi, what? That was my life. You read me for filth. Let me get on up out of this thing before I get sucked up in some stuff I ain't supposed to be in. And you're allowed to feel that way as well. Okay? What is the final outcome, Spirit, for this? What happens now that this conversation is had, that this person is not able to give you what it is that you're expecting, what it is that you're looking for? We got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay? I don't feel like you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, are going to take this lightly, that they have decided that this is what they don't want. Okay? I think you're going to be steaming. I think you're going to be angry and on the verge of being irate if we're being totally honest here. Let's be clear. Let's be very clear. Let's be crystal clear. You about ready to have this person's funeral. Because y'all done got messy. Y'all done took off the condoms. You done felt comfortable. And you feel used. But this goes back to you, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, not listening to your intuition. This goes back to you. And you wonder why you stressed out at night. Because Spirit has told you. You've seen all the evidence. You done seen all the proof of what this person's doing. And instead of you walking away with your head high and your dignity intact, you still going in the boom boom room with this man. And then as soon as they finish, you over here looking with them with the eyes of disgust like, ugh.
Clown.
But you doing it to yourself. You're not paying attention to how you feel. You're not paying attention to what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what your emotions are. You keep going right into this head first. Instead of just being like, whoa, let's pause, pump the brakes. Okay? You keep going into this like, this is what I want.
Bruh.
Okay, you want it. Why do you want it so bad? That's the question. Why do you want it that bad? What is it that this person is offering you so much so that you feel like you just gotta have it? Spirit is telling somebody business. Spirit said, because you create a fight just for them to come over, do what they do, remind you why you stuck in Delulu land. And once it's all over, you just sitting there like, whew.
I'm just not ready for all of this. It's just...
That's why. Got the Ten of Swords here. You keep doing this to yourself. Do you hear me? You keep doing this to yourself. You need to wake up and smell the coffee. You've done this to yourself. You've allowed it. Instead of you recognizing and accepting the fact that you need to align yourself better with people who want the same things, who have the same standards, who have the same visions, who have the same expectations as you, who want the same things. You over here keep aligning yourself with this person, this motherfucker, okay, that don't want nothing. All they can do is lay down good pipe. And you excited about that until the next time.
Wow, I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't.
Spirit telling you it's time for you to walk away. It's time for you to end this respectfully. Ain't no love here. Ain't no love here. With this Knight of Cups, ain't no love here. Ain't nothing gonna ever come from this. This person ain't offering you not a doggone thing. Every time you get on that soapbox about what it is that you want, your dreams, your aspirations, they like,
hold up.
This is too deep. You still ain't noticed that every time you bring stuff like this up, they change the conversation?
Hold up.
You ain't never noticed that? Anytime that you start asking them anything of substance,
How you doing?
they be like, ooh. I got another call. Can you call? I got another call coming in. Can you hold on? And they leave you there. And when they come back on the phone and you try to bring back up the conversation, they leave you on hold long enough that hoping that you forgot what you was talking about. But you ain't forget. Here you go again trying to bring it back up again. Ooh, Spirit is wrong, okay? Spirit said, next thing you know, the phone mysteriously hang up. It ain't that hard, y'all. You see the games that they playing, but you keep on playing it with them. So whose fault is it, really? It ain't that confusing, sugar. You got the Page of Swords here again. Everything that they're telling you, all the lies are going to be exposed and revealed. Everything is going to be exposed and revealed. And I'm putting it in air quotes because I feel like you've been knowing.
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
You just decided that you just gonna ignore everything. You keep on trying to put pressure there to get him to give you an answer. An answer to what?
I want you to answer my question.
And every time you go there trying to force this person to give you an answer to something, this suffocates them. Every time. That's why they keep hanging up the phone.
Damn you!
That's why every time you send this text message trying to get clarity, they looking at the phone, they reading what you say, they looking at it and they like,
you've got mail. Goodbye.
You know they read your message. You know they read your message. And every time you run to the phone, just to find out it's another spam call, you over here so flustered because it's not who you think it is. When do you stop doing this to yourself is the question. And we got the 5 of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. It's time. It's time for you to stop holding out and waiting for something more to happen here than what is happening here. It's time for you to wake up. You're forcing something to be that is not meant to be, or they don't want it to be with you. It's very much so that simple.
But what the hell, boy?
It very much so is that simple. But for some reason or another, you're bamboozled in your own mind. You're not believing what you see. When people show you who they are, you gotta believe it. But for some reason, this person, in all their majesty and all of their glory, whatever that is, in its limited capacity, got you over here just so in la la land. Telling yourself that you in love when this person don't even see you as anything worth more than a friend.
Embarrassing.
You keep trying to control yourself into thinking, which goes back to that manipulation card that fell out, that is something more than what it is. No, baby doll, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I need you to recognize that it is what it is. Stop getting your hopes and your dreams all up. Hoping, praying, wishing. Hoping, praying, wishing. That something's going to change. Nothing is about to change in this situation. It's time for you to realize what you're working with, who you are, what your worth is, what your market value. You ain't never finna see no multi-million-dollar house on the market for sale for $1. You just ain't gonna see it. If you did see a multi-million-dollar house on the market being sold for $1, you best believe it's a problem with it. It's gonna need some capital investments beyond that $1 to fix it.
Get that garbage out of here.
And you need to be like, no, thank you. All deals ain't a good deal. Okay? All deals are not a good deal. And you need to stop being gullible and stop being naive and stop being unrealistic about what it looks like. Because that points back to what you are allowing to happen. And you're trying to hold someone else accountable for your happiness when you are the one who indeed is responsible for your own happiness. That's why they're stressed out. You're predicating all your happiness on a person who never came, and nor should they ever come to make you happy. You got to be happy with yourself. You got to be content with who you are and what you bring to the table. That's what you got to do. But you can't get there because you expected for every man to come into your life to be the who. And then when they don't give you what you expected for them to give you, you're disappointed. Which goes back to unmet expectations.
Everybody fake now.
And it ain't everybody else all the time. Sometimes it's just you. Sometimes it's just you. So I'm going to pause there and I want to take a minute to reflect. And I want you to let me know down in the chat or in the comment section below. How does this make you feel? Was this the outcome that you have been expecting? Does it bring you relief, excitement, hesitation? What are your feelings right now? And tell me, why do you think you feel that way? All right. And I want you to really think about what your feelings are and process it. And I hope that what I shared with you, while it was a difficult message to give, I hope that it called you to the carpet to really confront what you have been ignoring and neglecting to accept. This is your chance to choose growth over fear, alignment over ego, and most of all, peace over confusion. Spirit is not the author of confusion, but of peace. And if something is giving you this type of intrepidation and hesitation and got you faltering like this, then that's the indicator that you are not where you need to be. You're out of alignment. Relationships should be cohesive and collaborative. They should bring you relief. They should be constructive. They shouldn't be contentious. You over here being delusional. Talking about we having technical difficulties. We'll be back next week. Yeah, you keep saying that. But what are they thinking? How are they feeling? You got to honor other people's feelings and emotions too. It's their relationship too. And every time you come with this BS, they like, ma'am, I'm just here for the show. And they don't have the heart to tell you that. They just here for the show. Every time you get on this soapbox, they're like, ha ha ha. Don't stop believing. They don't want that. And they don't want that with you. So let me know, how did this message resonate with you? I want to thank you so much for tuning in to PiSeas Tarot with me, your girl, Mimi Lightseer. If today's reading moved you, helped you, or even called you out with love, okay, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and drop a comment in the section below to let me know what resonated with you. Remember, this reading is timeless, so come back to it whenever you need a little bit of guidance, perspective, or a spiritual reset. Now, if you want to do a one-on-one reading with me, I am currently booking at PiSeasTarot.com. Don't be shy. Spirit may just have a little bit more for you to hear, okay? But let me give you this gentle disclaimer. I will never solicit you for a personal reading, ever. While personal readings are available, please note that all bookings are secured based on availability at my website at PiSeasTarot.com. Always ensure that you are interacting with official channels to avoid potential scams. I ain't reaching out to you to asking you for your zodiac sign and telling you to buy me what they call them, gold cards, green dot. I ain't reaching out to you on WhatsApp. I'm not doing none of that. None of it. So if somebody's doing that, you know that that is not me. And you need to report them as fraud. They are bodacious. They come in my lives. And I be looking up and I'm like, I know this ain't me in my live because this is me over here running the live. So you need to call authorities. report them for fraud, because I'm telling you right now, it's not me. Now, to all of my new subscribers, welcome to the pod. And to my returning guppies, thank you for being in this space and creating space and allow me to come into your homes and into your life and into your environment and just pour into you this morning, okay? To everyone who has gifted me not only your time, but your talents and your treasures, I am so grateful. I thank you for pouring into this sacred space today and allowing your hard work to go towards gifting me. I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, because you didn't have to buy me not a doggone thing. You didn't have to send a super chat. You didn't have to do nothing, but you did. Okay, so I thank you so much for that. Now listen, y'all. Everyone is fighting a battle that you cannot see. So be kind, patient, and gentle with others as much as you are yourself. How people treat you is not your business, but how you respond is. Your power lives within you. Okay? Use it wisely. Leave a little bit of love everywhere you go today. And I will see you next time. Bye.